I don't know how many times I have to talk about the media, criticize mainstream media and their coziness with their access journalism that they conduct. Yesterday on a Fox station, the affiliate there in Detroit, Donald Trump appeared for an interview. Very weird put together deal. And he made a claim about Venezuelan crime, stating that I think 72% is the number. We'll get to the clip here in a second. But 72% crime drop in Venezuela because they've emptied out their mental institutions and their prisons, and they just sent them all to America. Which, by just extension of logic, you'd be able to extrapolate that if that were the case, if Venezuela's violent crime numbers have gone down by 72%, nearly eliminating crime in the country, and they sent those people here, our crime would spike, would it not? Wouldn't that be the natural outcome? And that's not what's happening. In fact, our crime rates across the country are just plummeting under Biden. Dramatically lowering. Donald Trump's a liar. And there was no pushback. In the interview, he's like, well, where'd you get those statistics? And of course, Donald Trump fumbles and hems and haws and gives several different answers, then in fact, just landing on, they come from Venezuela. Well, we've got the receipts. This is something he's been repeating over and over and over. But the first clip I want to show you is not that. The first clip I want to show you is in the little morning show patter that these local, well, even national shows do it. It's revealed by one of the anchors interviewing the person or talking to the person who interviewed Donald Trump that Donald Trump invited himself on. Donald Trump handpicked this particular person to conduct the interview and then just ran roughshod with his own talking points and didn't allow an interview to be conducted. So my thought, my thesis here, my commentary, my criticism, is that the media just needs to do a better job of negotiating these moments. Ask the hard questions. Interrogate what the motivation is of Donald Trump. Why is he inviting himself onto my air for me to interview him? What's in it for him? What's the agenda here? Why Detroit? And should I allow this to take place? Should I platform this maniac that comes with nothing but lies? Or should I be more cautious? And if I do conduct the interview, how prepared should I be to counteract the lies and disinformation in real time? Easy questions, right? Anyway, first, here's the moment where it gets revealed that Donald Trump invited himself.
So, Roop, you were invited, I guess is the right word, to interview former President Trump. How did this come about?
So they called. I've interviewed him 3 other times, twice as president, once as a candidate. And they called yesterday morning and said, we have an opportunity. The president would like to speak with, the former president would like to speak with you about, just his thoughts on Michigan and where things stand. And so, of course, you say yes. I mean, he's the main candidate running on the Republican ticket. You always are going to say yes.
You're not always going to say yes. You don't always have to say yes, especially when you just roll out the red carpet and allow Donald Trump to lie with no concern for whether it's true or not. I could tell you that their hackles should have been raised, their metaphorical hackles. They should have been questioning what the motives were and what the motivation was here. What's the end game for Donald Trump to appear on a Detroit news station that covers the area that Donald Trump, in a racist manner, accused of stealing the election from him? Because there's just too many black voters in Detroit for him to handle. Here is that moment where he lies about Venezuela, and then we'll come with the facts to combat the nonsense that didn't get combated in the interview.
One stat before we go. Venezuela was very crime-ridden. They announced the other day 72% reduction in crime in the last year. You know why? They moved all their criminals from Venezuela right into the good old USA, and Biden let them do it. It's a disgrace.
But, sir, where are those numbers coming from?
I guess I get them from the papers in this case. I think it's a federal statement they're coming actually from Venezuela. They're coming from Venezuela.
we'll have to check on that. But Mr. President, I want to say thank you so much for joining us here today. And we hope you'll come back and we'll do a debate with President Biden here in Michigan sometime soon.
I'll be there. Thank you very much.
Oh, good follow-up, Rube, because that's a tough position to be in. We all say ask tough questions, ask follow-up, but it's difficult to do sometimes.
Good follow-up? After you get done breaking your arms, patting each other on the back for just asking him where he got that information, local news. I mean, if you thought national news was in the tank and complicit with the march to fascism in the United States, local news is really, really dropping the ball. Maybe, I don't know, I should have looked this up. I'd love to know whether this is a Sinclair station, which is akin to Fox News on the local level. I'd love to know that. But here are the facts. Also, did you like the answer that he gave? Where'd you get those numbers? The papers. From the papers. Federal statement. Venezuela. We got him from Venezuela. So I guess some good came out of it. I got to have a laugh, and I got to present this to you and hopefully make you laugh at what morons Donald Trump and his team are. Now, to the actual stats. This is from an article entitled PolitiFact Florida. Trump exaggerates Venezuelan crime drop and misleads on root causes. Now, here's the graphic from the PolitiFact. It's just false. They don't say half true or misleading. It's false. It's just false. And it's not a new lie that Donald Trump is telling. He's repeated this early in April in Grand Rapids and in Green Bay, 2 different rallies on the same day. Except in those particular moments, he said it was 67% the crime drop in Venezuela. Now it's 72, so it just keeps increasing. But here are the facts. These are the actual statistics. Data from the Venezuelan Observatory of Violence, a Venezuela-based independent nonprofit, they say this. There hasn't been a 67% drop in the past few years. The group's founder and director, Roberto Leon, told PolitiFact from Venezuela. The Venezuelan Observatory of Violence numbers show a 25% drop in violent deaths from 2022 to 2023, including homicides, deaths resulting from police intervention, and deaths under investigation. Despite that drop, the Venezuelan Observatory of Violence notes the national rate is still high compared with other countries in the region. In 2023, Venezuela had a rate of 26.8 violent deaths per 100,000 people, according to the Venezuelan Observatory of Violence. Mexico had a rate of 12 homicides per 100,000 people in the first half of 2023, according to this Institution of National Statistics, I think, in Geographia. And the U.S. in 2022 had a rate of 6.8 homicides. So he's just a liar. He just makes things up out of whole cloth, presents them to reporters who don't push back on it. Asking where'd you get those statistics isn't a follow-up. Failing us on a day-to-day basis and allowing Donald Trump to just lie about something that he specifically wanted in there. They didn't get to it, so he goes, one more statistic, by the way, before we leave. One more, I got to get this in. I got this one thing in. This is the one thing I wanted to say when I invited myself on, or invited you graciously. Plebe, come and interview me. Anyway, what do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore. And if I bring you value on a day-to-day basis, please consider supporting this work, helping me produce these videos. Click the join button below. For $2 a month, you can become a channel member right here on YouTube. You can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. Those are both great ways to help support what we do here, and I would appreciate it very much. I'll see you next time. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another.